to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Welcome back. It is 30 past the hour. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday and Weekend Recharge. I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa.
I'm meteorologist Paul Goodlow. Much of the southern U.S. getting a chance to catch a breath this morning, just before perhaps a new round of severe thunderstorms fire up later on today.
I mean, take a look at this downpour. This in Fort Benning, Georgia last night. My goodness, the Army post outside Columbus, Georgia, by the way. Golf ball size hail just east of here in Friendship, Georgia. Winds blew down trees onto power lines in Parkchester, Georgia, right next to Columbus.
They lifted up that trampoline there as well. And also families now bracing for another stormy day of weather here across the southeast. Thunderstorms in Crestview, Florida yesterday. The heavy downpours all across northern Florida and the Panhandle. Even reports of pea-sized hail and quite a few damage reports, bringing down some trees, even power poles. Some people in the dark yesterday.
And so when we talk about our top 3 stories, of course, it's including the thunderstorm threat, severe weather threat for today. Once again, we find ourselves in the plains from Amarillo, Oklahoma City, down to San Antonio. Includes a threat for tornadoes, so we'll time that out.
Yeah, and a quiet start to the morning, but a stormy afternoon. Tomorrow, all this activity pushes eastward. Dallas, the I-45 corridor through Houston, East Texas, and Louisiana. And then eventually Tuesday, we'll see more showers pushing into rest of Mississippi and Alabama, even eventually into southern Georgia and Florida.
Now, in the meantime, it has been cool and showery. April showers early this week for parts of the Midwest and the Northeast. That low off the coast, keeping those brisk northerly winds, just enhancing that chilly feel. We're going to tell you how much longer that hangs on, and of course the showers that'll be coming along with it.
All right, that wraps up a quick look at our local forecast. We'll talk more about this week coming up, but now international story. You definitely probably heard it at this point. Here's what we know so far about that massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake that shook Nepal yesterday. Now, this morning, another aftershock has rocked the region, measuring 6.7 in magnitude. More than 2,000 people are dead, but officials expect that death toll number to continue to rise.
Walls were crumbled, homes destroyed, and large cracks formed in the streets. Thousands of people in Kathmandu spent the night outside, too, just afraid to go back into their homes for fear of those aftershocks.
And about 100 miles away on Mount Everest, the quake set off massive avalanches. At least 17 people were killed and dozens more were injured. This according to the president of the Nepal Mountaineering Association, making it the deadliest disaster in the history of mountaineering on Everest.
Oh my God. We want to talk more about the power of this massive earthquake in Nepal. And joining us via Skype is Scott Bennett from the U.S. Geological Survey in Golden, Colorado. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning. I mean, this 7.8 magnitude earthquake was very powerful in itself, but now we're seeing aftershocks of almost 7 on the Richter scale. How long can these be expected to last?
Yes, good morning. We've recorded to the USGS here an aftershock of 6.6 within the first hour of the main 7.8 main shock. We've also seen an aftershock of a magnitude 5.6 late last night. And early this morning, about 6-7 hours ago, yes, like you said, we have an aftershock, the largest so far, around magnitude 6.7. These aftershocks, like most large earthquakes like this, will likely continue for several weeks and trickle away in their frequency and magnitude over the next several weeks to months.
And Scott, people don't realize that Mount Everest and those mountains there are actually created because of Earth moving like this earthquake. Why haven't we had an earthquake that strong in, you're talking dozens and dozens of years?
Well, the plate tectonics colliding together, like in Asia colliding together, slowly building the Himalayan mountains incrementally in earthquakes just like this. They happen every several hundred years. The most recent one we've had is a magnitude 8, about 240 kilometers southeast of this earthquake, and that killed over 10,000 people in 1934. The last earthquake we think that happened on this stretch of this subduction zone probably happened around 1500 AD. So it has been quite a while, and it's no surprise that we've had a large earthquake in this area.
I want to ask you, too, because, you know, a lot of times people think, okay, 6.7 compared to 7.8 must be pretty close. But give us an idea of the difference in magnitude when you're talking about the difference between a 6.7 and a 7.8.
Well, the magnitude scale that we use as earthquake scientists, each time you step up one full magnitude, when you go from a 6.0 to a 7.0, for example, you release about 30 times more energy. It's a logarithmic scale. So it's not just stepping up by one increment, it's stepping up by 30 times more energy. So the difference between the main shock and some of these aftershocks is quite significant. So the shaking felt during the main shock likely lasted longer and was more severe than these aftershocks.
And Scott, that 7.8 magnitude, have we had anything like that in recent history here in the U.S. that people can kind of equate this disaster to?
Well, large earthquakes in the United States have happened in the past couple centuries. Of course, we've had the 1906 earthquake on the peninsula of San Francisco in California. That was around a 7.9, 7.8. So a very large, devastating earthquake here. We've had other earthquakes in the New Madrid area along the Mississippi River corridor and on the East Coast in the past near Charleston. So we have had earthquakes of this magnitude in historic records in the United States that have caused serious damage as well and been felt very wide.
All right, Scott Bennett with the U.S. Geological Survey. Appreciate your perspective. Obviously, this is something that will continue to follow over the next few days, and we know that you're home probably wanting to know how you can help. Yeah,
that's the beauty. People want to help people in need, and here's some ways that you can help charities that are actually on the ground right now helping these people out. The Red Cross has made a huge effort to now mobilize and to seek and bring aid to the region right now. Other charities, UNICEF, America Cares, Oxfam, you see them listed there, as well as you can find more about that on our website, weather.com.
All right, I want to give you a few tidbits here regarding this. Again, we mentioned 7.8 magnitude, that main quake, 50 miles near Kathmandu. It is the worst quake there in more than 80 years. Yeah, the aftershocks, again, 6.6 right after, 6.7 aftershock this morning. And again, nearly 24 aftershocks since the initial quake. But think about being in that area and scared as it is, and then here you have where those aftershocks have been located, all right in and around that area. And again, even avalanches on Mount Everest, 100 miles away, and you have to remember, this is the beginning of the climbing season there. They have huge ice fields that have almost semi-permanent structures set up, ladders. Even that had a lot of damage, and people lost their lives yesterday. All right, we'll be right back after we look on these.
Now at Boston Market, new slow-braised pulled pork. So tender, it falls apart. Topped with zesty barbecue or garlic citrus sauce. A bold new taste from the slow roasting experts at Boston Market.
6 smoky hours, 1 tasty dish. Slow-braised pulled pork, now at Boston Market.
The final battle of Saigon has begun.
Everybody was looking for ways to get out.
If we were going to get people out, we were going to have to make it happen. I jumped out. My brother jumped out. My mom was holding my sister. It was the first step to American freedom.
In a work world, take time for Sunday. Just know that your truck has a little thing for Monday.
Gone fishing. It's a sign that means we've locked up and headed off to do something we love. Luckily, there's an entire state dedicated to those little signs, with 19 million acres of woods. Gone biking, gone golfing, and the world's longest freshwater coastline. Gone rock skipping, gone sailing, gone wandering. Meet you on the playgrounds of Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy.
Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
To you, there They're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 96. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Jazz Fest. You can see people trying to take shelter under umbrellas and tents. The city picked up more than half an inch of rain yesterday. Good news if you're heading to the festival today. Not looking at rain. It's actually maybe the heat that we're concerned about.
And humidity close to record heat today. The record high today, New Orleans, 88. Our forecast is 89, but it should be dry, which is probably the reason why you'll get to 89 degrees today. And so far, the Jazz Fest, 2 for 2. 2 days. 2 days of rain, 2 days of interruptions because of the weather there in New Orleans.
All right, so you're getting the heads up. Let's take a live look now at Jackson Square in New Orleans. A bit of a hazy start to the day today. You have temps into the 70s right now, but as we mentioned, heading up to 89 could be a record high. New Orleans yet to hit 90 this year. Last time you hit 90 was back in October, so but it's probably going to feel pretty close to that. I want to take a look at some of the events going on today, get you ready for it. We're going to make our first stop in New Orleans, and yes, throughout much of the day, as early as the lunch hour, you'll be into the 80s already. Some sun, some clouds, so don't forget the sunscreen today, and make sure you have a way to keep nice and cool with the kids too, and then mostly cloudy skies as we get into the evening hours. Yesterday, we talked about the Toad Lick Festival in Dothan, Alabama. They had nasty storms come through. It stopped some of the performances there. Looking good today. So happy to report that. You've got temperatures climbing into the mid-80s here as well. Lots of sunshine, and then the clouds, some clouds from time to time as we get into late tonight. So again, remember your sunscreen if you are heading out to the Toad Lick Music Festival. A lot of big acts there as well. But they did have some issues with the severe weather yesterday, Paul. We want to get everyone prepared in some of the big cities we're watching today.
A lot of big cities in Texas once again. We do everything big in Texas, so will be our severe threat once again today. Take a look at this line here. We really want to pay attention to that I-35 corridor, basically from, let's say, Round Rock and Austin, northward through Waco and Killeen, all the way up into the Fort Worth and Dallas area. That's that line that we're perhaps could see a moderate risk. So right now, our TORCON, or Tornado Conditions Index, is a 3 right now for Central Texas. That could potentially increase today, as that's the focal point of thunderstorms going strong and severe, and possibly even tornadic as well. Here's a forecast for a few cities along that I-35 corridor. A beautiful, glorious Sunday morning and afternoon here in Oklahoma City. Get out early and often, but by the late evening hours, showers and thunderstorms erupt, and they will continue overnight as well. Yeah, the most dangerous time to have that severe weather is after the sun has set. Even Dallas, a great start for your day. Enjoy it. But then by the nighttime hours, we could see thunderstorms overnight. And our temperature is much cooler, by the way, tomorrow with more cloud cover. And even Austin, this is the target zone for potentially a pretty nasty day. Storms start this afternoon and then continue overnight as well. But before they get there, still looking for a pretty warm day. Temperatures back in the mid-80s in Texas. All that is really is more fuel to get these storms going as we head throughout the afternoon.
It's going to be another active day. You know, weather is finally cooperating, though, in Cincinnati today, we're happy to report, after non-stop rain finally put the brakes on Saturday's Cubs-Reds game.
Yeah, a few fans did stick around until the final end of the game here, armed with umbrellas, even ponchos. But after a 4-hour delay, umpires finally called it. No word yet on when this game will be made up. Only less than an inch of rain fell, though, but it was enough to give Great American Ballpark's 10th rainout in its 12-year history.
Wow.
The soonest a makeup can be rescheduled would be May 15th.
Those are solid fans right there, sitting it out, right? A live look at beautiful Cincinnati, my home for 3 years, by the way. 46 degrees. We're looking at the University of Cincinnati campus. Plenty of sunshine, high up to 61. Maybe a little gusty there from time to time. You know, there's a La Rosa's pizza there, kind of famous. Yeah.
So that's where you went there 3 years to get that
my
off
people.
the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to go, Maria.
Exactly.
I'll take a pepperoni.
There you go.
Yeah, Sicilian too?
Yeah, we got it all, what you need. All right, we got the forecast for sure. We have that sunshine, as we mentioned. Check your local listings, of course, up at first pitch at 1:10 p.m.
Yeah, much better weather there. Also better but warmer, hot, steamy, sticky weather here in New Orleans area for the Zurich Classic taking place in Avondale, Louisiana. Last 3 days, rain delays, rain halts, but today, sunshine after some fog this morning.
All right, coming up, we're going to have your seasonal forecast. Wait to see what's going to play out in Texas.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
Olive Garden's all-new duos are here, but not for long, starting at $11.99. Our most craveable classics like chicken parmesan paired with new tastes to explore, all served with unlimited salad and breadsticks. 4 all-new duos starting at $11.99 at Olive Garden.
My budget was always second-guessing me when I'd buy stuff for the family. Fingerhut, 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 Fingerhut. At Fingerhut.com, we can shop with low monthly payments. Over 200,000 items and growing from brands like Samsung, Lego, and KitchenAid. Just click on over to Fingerhut.com to get the credit you deserve and great stuff for your family. Oh, not Fingerhut. I got that at a garage sale for $1.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the South once again. We'll see you Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMH.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
When you're diabetic, one of the important things about keeping yourself healthy is keeping your skin hydrated.
Gold Bond Diabetics Dry Skin Relief. 9 out of 10 saw noticeable improvement in just 1 hour. Dry skin is under control.
Gold Bond really works.
Many prescriptions can cause dry mouth. ACT Dry Mouth Mouthwash and new toothpaste relieve dry mouth symptoms with soothing formulas that strengthen teeth and freshen breath. ACT Stronger Teeth and Dry Mouth Relief. To soothe dry mouth on the go, try ACT Dry Mouth Lozenges.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 96. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Listen to of that, Leslie County in southeastern Kentucky takes a beating from a hailstorm. Some of these hailstones an inch wide, big enough to leave dents on the hoods of automobiles, that's for sure. On the other side of the state in Henderson County reports that winds from a strong thunderstorm destroyed a mobile home last night. It's the power of wind. Now the site of wet pavement, a welcomed one anywhere in California these days. We did have a smattering of rain that fell in El Cajon in the San Diego metro area. Not enough to make really even the slightest dent in the 4-year-old drought, though. Moving north, the National Weather Service reported heavy drizzle in Oxnard. Less than 0.2 of an inch fell in Santa Barbara County. So we are hopeful, of course, for that to all continue. But, boy, we have quite a story setting up and through the central U.S. once again, where some of the most active weather is going to be happening in every kind of realm that weather can happen. We go from severe to this spring chill, and really Texas is the place for all that to happen. So let's kind of show you what's going to be going on. You have right now fair skies from San Angelo to Dallas. We also have some very dry air on one side of the state. Not so much on the other. And a familiar term that if you've been watching our coverage the last several days, it feels like several weeks, this is the dry line. It's a boundary between where it's really, really dry and where you have the humidity. Look at San Antonio's dew point all the way up to 70. That is sticky. Meanwhile, Lubbock and Midland, your dew points are down into the 20s. That is bone dry, especially during the springtime. That is going to serve as a focus, a starting point for these showers and thunderstorms. But keep an eye on the clock. It's going to start pretty early, we think. Say the I-35 just to the west here. And you can see by the lunch hour to in between Dallas and Abilene, some of these really strong thunderstorms will start to blossom. And you notice that there are little spots that's signaling to us that we may be looking at supercells, those big, big thunderstorms that are capable of rotation here. So this is definitely a day you want to keep it close to the Weather Channel. We'll be with you through the afternoon and into the evening. But that continues into the late night hours through the Red River Valley and into Oklahoma. And that is exactly where our severe risk lines up for today. We have from Amarillo to Oklahoma City and then down to San Antonio. Spotty hail, of course, damaging winds, yes, heavy rain, definitely, but also that threat for tornadoes. Right now, central Texas, a 3 out of 10 on the Torcon. Lower on the scale, not 0. So again, still have to be aware of what's happening. By tomorrow, we see that shift a little bit to the east here. So now Shreveport and New Orleans in that severe risk all the way to Mobile too. And again, we do have the threat for damaging winds and hail, but that tornado threat too. 4 out of 10 for east and southeast Texas. So Texas really going to be seeing the brunt of some of the most active weather. Now, with that in mind, you know, we talk about the ingredients. Well, the heat and humidity, yes, but we also have some colder air moving in. And look at this by tomorrow, Dallas, 66 degrees, Amarillo, 51. We're talking 10 to 20 degrees below average by Tuesday, feeling a little bit more like late February. More Weekend Recharge coming back.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle-Gro Liquifeed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
It's gonna tempt your tummy with a taste of nuts and honey. It's honey almond. It's Honey Nut Cheerios.
Let's go Emerald Coasting. Visit Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island, the heart of Florida's Emerald Coast.
Come on, big boy, come on.
Wait. You have to take this back.
You ordered the Floral Fantasy?
But I only had this swatch. I never saw how it looked.
I think it's beautiful.
Oh.
At Lazy Boy, you don't have to worry how the fabrics, leathers, and options will look, because you can see it before you order it.
Don't miss incredible buys on an amazing selection of furniture throughout the store.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Constant Contact gives you all the best email marketing tools, like newsletters and event invites. So whether you run a small business or a nonprofit, you can connect with, well, everyone. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
Please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
All right, welcome back. Take a live look at a cloudy, foggy Houston, Texas this morning. Looks like there's a lot of traffic out there for a Sunday morning already.
It's like, I don't know if it's I-10, I mean I-20, no, I guess it's I-10 in Houston, or is it 610, the loop? I don't know. But definitely
busy, yeah. People on the move.
Always in Houston. Visibility definitely a huge concern across much of southeastern Texas and the Gulf Coast as well. Take a look here. We still have some dense fog advisories out here, areas of southern Louisiana and also out towards the Padre Islands, north and south.
Yeah, a lot of these set to expire in the next few minutes because you get the sun out and get it working, and you see that visibility increase and get better. But you can see really South Texas, Louisiana, parts of the Gulf Coast kind of socked in since early this morning. So just slow your roll if you're going to be heading out in the next few minutes.
Kind of steamy out there after all that rain the last couple of days here. All right, now's the time of the show where we talk about the wows, the wonders of weather. And this week we have a week of wonder of weather, or we can call it wow.
Wow. All right, this was crazy, right? We had a thunderstorm that passed just to the north of the Weather Channel. This is a view from the 8th floor, and you can see a little bit of that descending cloud. This was a hail producer, but also a tornado warned storm as it moved through.
And that was the king of the weather geeks, Dr. Marshall Shepard, taking that photo there. And this is
look at Wednesday with the snow in Illinois.
Yeah,
remember that?
Low clouds coming on through there and just kind of blanketing this area of Illinois.
And then we move to Thursday and look at this awesome shot out of Texas, the severe weather that came through there in the western part of the state.
Yeah, part of the cloud structure of a supercell that was bringing in that storm across the area. And then Friday, we head to Kansas, and I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, but yes, we are.
Yeah, and that shelf cloud is as well. And you can see some of that rough weather as well into Kentucky as we get through Saturday. Impressive cloud pics.
Look at that cloud structure. It's incredible stuff. If you see incredible pictures of weather happening out there, just send it to us or tweet it out with the hashtag It's Amazing Out There.
Oh no. Can you fix it, Dad?
Yeah, I can fix that.
I wanted a car that could handle anything.
I fixed it!
That's why I got a Subaru Legacy.
Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 36 mpg.
I gotta break more toys.
The 2015 Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
What's this? A box. It takes worn out things and makes them better. Wanna see? Yeah. Cool. What else you got?
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn-out batteries and making them into something strong. New Energizer Eco Advanced, world's first long-lasting battery made with 4% recycled batteries.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician-recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
Are you a man over 40 and feeling tired, losing muscle, have less romantic drive? Then you need Ageless Male, with an ingredient clinically shown to increase free testosterone levels. Ageless Male is now available at these fine retailers.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 96. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92, chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hey there, good Sunday morning to you, and welcome to Weekend Recharge. I'm Paul Goodlow.
And I'm Maria LaRosa. For the next 2 hours, we want you to sort of unplug and get lost in the weather.
We have a little cell phone, guys, going to come across here. We're going to grab him, we're going to put a big circle around him with a red slash, and then we're going to show him the door.
Just gentle reminder that, take some time, get lost in the weather. We have a lot to catch you up on, and so let's get to it.
That's right. In fact, we have strong thunderstorms that turned deadly because of a regatta going on in Mobile Bay in Alabama yesterday. Officials saying at least one person was killed when storms capsized boats taking part in the Dauphin Island race. Coast Guard is searching for 4 other people still missing in Mobile Bay. 100 boats were participating in the annual popular event. A 73-mile-per-hour wind gust was clocked as the thunderstorms rolled across Mobile Bay.
Walls were crumbling right and left, and I turned to my son and I said, "Oh my God, it's the earthquake."
This morning, the death toll in Nepal is rising as search and rescue crews try to locate and rescue people trapped in buildings flattened by a massive earthquake. Thousands are now homeless, and many of them are sleeping outdoors in freezing temperatures and rain, afraid to be indoors as strong aftershocks continue to rattle the region. So we want to give you a snapshot of all the big stories across the globe, of course, close to home. And one of the big stories, of course, that we continue to follow is still some areas feeling the chill, and that includes into the Northeast, where we're not only following that spring chill, but also a few April showers. So we'll tell you how that'll affect the end of your weekend, get you ready for the week ahead. But still a very, very stormy south. You see the area in orange, general showers and thunderstorms. But we have another area in red today that is going to be where we're finding the highest risk for severe weather. And Paul, once again, it is not just strong damaging winds and hail, but also tornadoes as well. So we'll continue to track that for you today.
Certainly. In fact, this morning, the Coast Guard is still searching for 4 people reported missing after a severe thunderstorm capsized sailboats during a regatta in Mobile Bay in Alabama. A wind gust of 73 miles per hour was clocked as the storm crossed the bay. And sadly, Alabama officials report 1 person was killed. About 100 sailboats were actually competing in the Dauphin Island race when thunderstorms blew up around 4:30 yesterday. Dozens of people were pulled alive from the waters.
And we want to talk to one of the persons who was on one of the boats participating in the regatta. And Susan Stieber-Kangol joins us on the phone from Mobile, Alabama. And Susan, again, thank you again for taking time with us to tell your incredible story. If you can, the best you can, describe to us what happened as the storms moved in.
Well, we were headed south to the bridge, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles southwest of Middle Bay Lighthouse, and rain was coming, and we could see it, just thinking it was a small storm coming, and somebody that was ahead of us had an inside scoop on the weather, called and said, "Get your jib down." So we got the jib down, cranked the motor, and I tried to motor sail south away from it. And when lightning started popping, I sent the crew below, which was 2 females other than myself and 5 teenage girls. And I just held on the wheel and tried to drive us through the rain at that point, not really thinking a whole lot of it. And within seconds, a wall of white came out of nowhere, and you couldn't see anything. The boat started thrashing around like we were in a blender. And I have a 34-foot boat, and we were sideways. We were about 1 inch from capsizing at one point. The main got shredded into pieces and nothing flat, which was a godsend. If it not shredded it, we would have been upside down. And at one point, I was laying on the bottom of the back of the boat. Everybody was below, and my co-captain was looking through the hole of the companionway, and I said, "You've got to get the main released," because it had gotten a knot in it with all the bucking back and forth, and she kicked and kicked to get it loose, or the sail that was in the water would have pulled it under. we were ready to jump, and it finally got loose, and the boat sort of half righted itself, and we just hung on and rode it out. Kids were down below, standing on the side of the boat, which should have been the bottom of the boat, just screaming.
Susan, what was going through your mind? How were you feeling when this weather quickly came upon you? You're seeing 15-foot waves next to your boat.
You know, at the time it's happening, I didn't think about dying. I did, but I mean, you just stay calm, and I was just focused on keeping everybody on the boat. And as soon as I could, I was laying right next to the back hatch where the life jackets are. I started throwing them out, telling everybody to get them on. That was our biggest mistake. As soon as we knew any weather was coming, we should have gone ahead and put them on if we'd had any indication of what was going to happen.
You know, you are an experienced sailor. Have you ever encountered conditions like this before?
No, not unless I was in a house waiting for a hurricane.
And Susan, you mentioned, you had no idea the weather was coming. We're talking over 100 boats participating in this. Was there any organized weather briefing before everyone said so?
Yes and no. I mean, we all thought that the weather had gone, and most of it went north of us, so we pretty much thought we were clear for the day. And by the time that second wave of weather came, it was, I think, in Louisiana or Texas at the time the race started. But since the wind was out of the south, it was on our nose. The race took twice as longer than it normally would. And so everybody was still out there really in the middle of the bay when that second wave came through. And everybody thought it was just going to be some rain. Nobody knew the severity of it.
How long were you in that most severe part of the storm? When did you realize, okay, now we're going to be okay?
We were bulking like riding a rodeo for about 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And then the rain at least kind of settled down, but it was still so rough that you couldn't go on the deck to put the anchor out. We would have gotten thrown off. Probably another 30 minutes of that, and then it was not calm, but calm enough that you could hold on, and we were able to get an anchor down and wait for help.
If I was counting correctly, I think you have a crew of 7 or 8, including yourself. How is everyone doing this morning?
Everybody's good. Nobody slept. A little shaken up, a little bruised up, but glad to be alive.
And we are so thankful that you guys are all okay, and that we appreciate so much you telling this story. So hopefully, next time people do go out and there is weather in the forecast, we want everyone to be prepared and be safe. So Susan Stieber-Kangel, thank you so much again, and we're so happy that everyone is okay.
Yeah, definitely kind of a surprise. People not knowing this was coming. Wow. Well, severe weather definitely a huge concern, even as we head towards today.
And we're talking Texas, Oklahoma under the threat again when the storms will start to pop up, and where they're going to be coming later and when they'll be at their peak.
$25,000 mornings, give or take, is all we humans get. We spend them on treadmills, we spend them in traffic, and if we get lucky, really lucky, it dawns on us to go spend them in a world where a simple sunrise can still be magic. 25,000 mornings. Make sure some of them are pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
The final battle of Saigon has begun.
I was told that I should not try to take any Vietnamese out.
If we were going to get people out, we were going to have to make it happen.
We're pulling them on as fast as we can. There's a sea of humanity jamming on. People are falling off the air stairs.
Who goes? And who gets left behind?
To you,
They're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the south once again. We'll see you Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 96. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Boom! I want to know. I told you that it's going to boom!
Yeah, boom indeed. In the midst of thunderstorms rolling through the Dothan, Alabama area Saturday, you see power transformers exploding there.
Ooh, clearly the man who shot the video is enjoying the show. A number of trees and power lines, though, were toppled during yesterday's storms, and winds gusted to nearly 60 miles per hour at times.
Yeah, just to the west is Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and check out what's going on to those trees here, rocking back and forth while thunderstorms blew through that area.
Nearby, there were reports of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts at one point. Storm spotters reported seeing tree limbs, trash cans, even some yard debris being blown all around.
Yeah, and wind definitely a huge issue with the thunderstorms yesterday. Take a look at our storm reports. Again, this map's going to show you all these blue circles, sometimes red circles as well. Red would be tornadoes, but can't really see any on yesterday's map here. But overall, 170 reports of severe weather and storm damage, and the blue lines that kind of swirl out, those are wind reports. Even had some hail as well and some tree damage, but overall, wind reports, 130 of those 170 reports of severe weather on Saturday. Even without tornadoes, wind can still do quite a bit of damage. And Maria, we're not done. We're tracking storms today as well.
No, we're not. It's going to be another really active day, and there are a few cities in particular that we really want to get you ready for the potential later today. And as you might imagine, it's the area in red. And once again, we find ourselves in Oklahoma and Texas today. Amarillo, Oklahoma City, Dallas, San Antonio in that red area. In particular, that tornado threat we're very concerned about as we get into the rest of the day. In fact, we have a 3 out of 10 on the Torcon in through central Texas today. So what does that mean? It means a 3 in 10 chance within 50-mile radius of that spot seeing a tornado. So it's not 0 on the scale. So we want to make sure that you get the timing and really prepare now, right? Because it's going to be a really lovely day in Oklahoma City. It's not really till later this evening that we start to see some of the more powerful showers and thunderstorms begin to pop. And you see in Dallas too. Really lovely day. Temperatures into the 80s. You're going to see those showers and thunderstorms late this evening towards the overnight. Once they get going, we are concerned that they're just going to get going. So we'll talk more about that in a second. You can see Austin, too, later on this evening with temperatures down into, or I should say, up into the low to mid 80s. Once again, you cannot rule out the possibility of a tornado. This has been one part of the country which is kind of living up to its name in the time of year where, you know, springtime, end of April, early May, you see a lot of activity in Texas.
Good news is we are seeing some rain for the drought in the area. But as you saw there, definitely was a busy week for a lot of severe weather all across Texas, including North Texas. Several watches and warnings in the area throughout this week. Many of those did not materialize, fortunately, into dangerous tornadoes.
And of course, we say that's a good thing, but we always want to put up our guard, right, against complacency and make sure that the public heeds the warnings. Joining us on the phone is Mark Fox, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Service in Fort Worth, Texas. And Mark, is there ever fear of, crying wolf when all these tornado watches and warnings don't actually materialize into actual tornadoes?
Of course. You don't want to cry wolf too much. You want to make sure people are prepared for what could happen. But you definitely want to make sure that people are paying attention, especially on a day like today. Absolutely beautiful day in North Texas right now. Might not be that way later on today or tonight as well. And we had a lot of damage the last couple of days, including at least one tornado just to the south of Midlothian. But we had the high wind reports actually were stronger wind speeds than the tornado that we found.
And people, I think, tend to take that for granted, thinking, oh, it's just winds, there's no tornado warning, I'm not that concerned. But as you mentioned, we can see winds even stronger with straight line winds than some tornadoes.
That's exactly right, and that was one of our messages from yesterday, because a lot of people think, oh, severe thunderstorm warning, here we go again, what's the big deal? But, in reality is severe thunderstorm warnings can do a heck of a lot of damage, and we had 85 to 90 mile per hour winds possible in Benbrook with straight line winds. The tornado that we found might have had 80 mile per hour winds out of it.
And Mark, I can imagine with a city like Dallas, a growing population, a lot of people relocating to Dallas, this, new areas that are being built up that may not have had experience with tornadoes. Is that a challenge for your office in particular, trying to communicate on a day like today, the threat?
It's always a challenge, especially because you do have a lot of people that might not have been here 2 or 3 years ago, or definitely not 10 or 15 years ago, definitely built up quite a bit. And you just want to make sure that folks understand that on days like today, especially late April, early May, you watch the weather. You don't just watch it once and then be done with it. You constantly monitor, you plan, you prepare, and then you adjust to whatever what Mother Nature throws at you.
All right, great information. Thanks. You had Mark Fox with the National Weather Service office out of Fort Worth, covering much of North Texas, including the Dallas area.
And he mentioned that it's going to be a nice start to the day, much of the afternoon quiet. It's late tonight, so you want to make sure that you continue to monitor. National Weather Service will be on it. We will too, as we take you through the rest of the evening.
Well, stick around. Coming up on Weekend Recharge, your 7-day stretch gets you through this week weather-wise.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Look, this is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. Our hero is the soba noodle, which we pair with fresh spinach, mushrooms,
yes,
and chicken raised without antibiotics.
Very nice.
Then topped with a soy miso broth. That's the ticket. And if you're feeling extra adventurous, try our delicious Thai chicken salad, only at Panera Bread.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Many prescriptions can cause dry mouth. Act Dry Mouth Mouthwash and new toothpaste relieve dry mouth symptoms with soothing formulas that strengthen teeth and freshen breath. Act Stronger Teeth and Dry Mouth Relief. To soothe dry mouth on the go, try Act Dry Mouth Lozenges.
Skin's ability to retain moisture weakens with age. New Gold Bond Strength and Resilience has skin-plumping moisturizers and proteins from the Resurrection Plant to bring skin back to life. 84% saw an improvement in skin texture in 5 days. Gold Bond Strength and Resilience.
The Luxury Uncovered event is going on now at Alpacker Lincoln. Enjoy exceptional savings on your favorite Lincoln models.
Like an MKZ, gas or hybrid, just $249 a month. Or the all-new 2015 Lincoln MKC, just $289 a month.
And bottom line windshield pricing on over 200 new Lincolns. The Luxury Uncovered event at Alpaca Lincoln on Military Trail. And remember, before you ride, Bryce Packard.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the South once again. We'll see it Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMHQ.
Current. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 96. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And you are looking live at Denver. Storms here, but how about some snow? West.
Say it ain't snow.
Say it is snow, yeah. Well, 41 degrees, you can see how it would happen there in the higher elevations.
Yeah, and again, this is, I've mentioned this before, and I don't care if people are upset, but this is a sign of climate change. It's April 26th, and we have snow. It's dumping snow across the Colorado Rockies. This should have been there in January, in February, in March, not in April. Denver, yeah, we can see April snow, but with a changing climate, ski resorts can still get their average yearly snow. But if it comes in November and it comes in April and not during the heart of the season, that's a problem.
Yeah, a lot of cities saw that seasonal shift where it's a late start to winter and late start to spring. All right.
Even California.
Even California.
Having snow in the mountains the last couple of days. All right, time now to stretch your 7-day stretch. We get you through today, get you on through this week so you can plan for your work and perhaps school week coming up.
All right, so the focus today, once again, will be in through the southern plains and that severe weather threat. Oklahoma City, Dallas really need to be on guard later on this afternoon because it's a nice start right now.
Yeah.
Not going to be that way all
Definitely.
day.
Atlanta, finally the rain is out of here. Should be a dry day, 82 degrees. But look at the Northeast, relatively dry, but it's kind of chilly. You're still waiting for that big burst of heat to stay with us here. 50s and low 60s. Some areas with record lows yesterday morning.
Isn't that amazing, right?
It's April, I mean, almost May. May's on Friday. We're still stuck in the 50s.
All right, let's recharge you for the Monday morning rush. Maybe some showers interior Northeast. Looks great, though. Sun glare may be your big travel issue here from Chicago down to Nashville, Atlanta, as well as Charlotte.
Yeah, more thunderstorms here across East Texas now in Louisiana, but also spine the Rockies, Colorado, New Mexico, snow in the higher elevations. When will it ever end?
All right, but you notice we've been talking about 80s, even some getting close to 90s along the Gulf Coast. Dallas, though, by Tuesday, you're just at 62 degrees. Temperatures are crashing. Here's Dr. Greg Postel.
Well, after a month of pretty warm weather across the southern plains and the Gulf Coast states, gosh, early next week, big difference. We're looking at Tuesday's highs in parts of Texas, more like February's highs. How about that? That's quite a change. Back to you.
Yeah, that same Tuesday, check out New York. We are 2 degrees warmer at 64 than you would be at Dallas. Interesting.
That's pretty amazing.
On towards Wednesday, even warmer still in New York, 72 degrees. That's 72, the same high as Dallas, Texas.
There you go. But you notice how our pattern of severe weather in the plains getting a little bit of a break. It's now focusing on days of rain and clouds in parts of the southeast.
Yeah, kind of a crummy middle of the week for you. But again, nice day in Minneapolis, 70 for a high. Northern Rockies warming up. Billings, 81 degrees as we head on towards Wednesday afternoon.
All right, hello Thursday, and now we're starting to see some showers back in the picture into the northeast, but we still have some snowfall on the map. Just want to point that out. In through the inland northwest and parts of Idaho, you see the blue and the pink, so a little bit chilly up there, but downslope there, you've got 70 degrees in Billings.
Yeah, Thursday, Minneapolis, again, a gorgeous day, 70 degrees. Definitely going to enjoy that. In fact, we got plenty of sunshine this morning, but eventually we'll start seeing more heat expand across the Midwest and the plains. but will come with a chance of some showers later in the week across the Twin Cities.
You know, some cities that feel like spring has been dormant for a little bit, and 70s, maybe a couple days of 70s and a little bit of rain. Minneapolis might finally get some of everything start to get bloom in there, because I know it's been sort of on halt in the Northeast too. New York 61 and some showers here. The last day, no, that is May 1st. That is May 1st.
It is May Day. Even Atlanta, we start pushing the showers east of you. Around Augusta, could see a few showers in the morning. Miami, much of Florida, dry after several bouts of rain this week and into this coming week. Dallas, again, we're drying out. Things are quieting down towards the plains. Not as much severe weather. Not even thunderstorms popping up there. We're a high at 80 degrees. Now, let's talk about the first weekend of the month of May.
And this is Derby Saturday?
Yes.
Derby Saturday. Look. Loving that.
Yes.
Loving that. Looks like a dry track.
But also a dry track in Auburn, Alabama. Bow Bikes Bama will be going off this coming Saturday as well. So all your riders should be fantastic. Great weather for you. Atlanta, great for golf, tennis, even finally mowing that lawn. 80 degrees for your high on Saturday.
Still no sign of a big warm up though in the Northeast. I mean, you've got still 50s and mid 60s in the Northeast, which for some areas still below average. But take a look, Phoenix, you're going to be hitting 100 degrees a few times this week, and you're still sitting at 97 here on Saturday.
All right, well, stick around. We're still talking about the threat for severe weather this morning on Weekend Recharge, including the risk, once again, bullseyeing Central Texas, that I-35 corridor. That's the area we could see more severe weather, damaging winds and tornadoes.
And that's the area that we'll be focusing on and getting you ready for as we plan the day ahead. Also coming up on Weekend Recharge this morning, the death toll is rising in Nepal.
This is more than 24 hours after a powerful earthquake struck that country, and now a desperate recovery is unfolding. We'll get the very latest on a special report coming up right after your local on the Yates.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle-Gro Liquifeed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
You guys, I think she's here. She's here.
Is that her?
No, Valerie said she's driving a Buick. Sure doesn't look like a Buick.
Take a fresh look at Buick. It just might surprise you.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick.
That's not a Buick. That's what I told him.
Wow. This is nice.
Now get sign and drive leases across the entire 2015 Buick lineup. Like this Buick Encore for around $199 per month on vehicles in stock the longest.
Barry's thoughts on Gain Flings. Holy macaroni. Holy macaroni. That's no regular Gain. This little thingamajig is some kind of super duper special Gain.
Special Gain.
Super duper.
Super duper.
If Minos had thumbs, I'm pretty sure they'd be up right now. It doesn't. Right?
Minos has no thumbs.
Gain Flings. With 50% more scent, you'd give it 3 thumbs up, if you could.
You have to take this back.
You wanted the Floral Fantasy?
But I only had this swatch. I never saw how it looked.
At Lazy Boy, you don't have to worry how the fabrics, leathers, and options will look, because you can see it before you order it.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind. I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 96. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the south once again. We'll see it Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMHQ.
It is 30 past the hour and you're watching Weekend Recharge. So glad you can join us. I'm Maria LaRosa.
And I'm Paul Goodlow. Well, we're definitely still trying to get you updated what's going on in terms of the big weather impacting your stories today.
And we want and the best way to do that is check out the local papers and the headlines there.
Let's take a look at the front page of the Daily Courier out of Prescott, Arizona, and the headline reads, "Whiskey off-road. Chilly rain doesn't dampen races or tunes this weekend."
As we know, this is the time of year when the weather and weekends often clash, right? Just about every community in the country has some sort of outdoor sporting event or concert or festival happening on the weekends. Well, next up, we have an Anniston Star in Anniston, Alabama.
Yeah, in fact, parts of Alabama just experienced some pretty nasty weather yesterday, especially down towards Mobile. But this picture is actually from the tornado outbreak back in 2011. 4 years later, there are still areas in full recovery mode, but the good news is residents say they are now more prepared for severe weather, and many of them have a newfound respect for Mother Nature.
And one more to go, and on the front page of the Daily News in New York is the Nepal earthquake. Obviously, this story has captured worldwide attention and one that we are following as well right here on Weekend Recharge.
And definitely, we're talking about over 2,000 people dead, and that number will probably grow dramatically as more people get into the impacted areas.
Another story we're following this morning. One person is dead after storms toppled several sailboats in Mobile Bay, Alabama. Crews are searching for 4 more who are missing. It happened at the annual Mobile Bay Regatta in Dauphin Island. Winds gusted nearly 55 miles an hour at the time. Heavy, blinding rain. More storms possible today along the Gulf Coast. In fact, maybe winds in excess of 70 miles per hour with some of these storms there.
Once again. Also, check this out. Incredible close-up video of a landspout tornado in West Texas near the town of Lorain. Stan Cole is a retired fire chief who shot this video on Wednesday. He's standing just 100 yards from this dangerous tornado. Now, we do not recommend you getting this close to something like this, and people say, oh, it's like a dust devil. No, this is still an actual tornado. We say landspout because it's just a different origination in terms of where this spin comes from. Regular tornadoes from mesocyclone, they come from the cloud base and then descend down. This one coming from the ground and then going up.
And that's one of the concerns we have today, actually. Actual tornadoes here are one of our top stories. From Oklahoma City, Dallas, San Antonio, be on alert, not just severe weather, but also that tornado threat. We'll time it out and show you where the biggest threat is.
Again, we're still watching the thunderstorms even tomorrow pushing into East Texas and once again back through New Orleans and eventually to Mobile Bay.
And then by Tuesday, also down into Florida. But in the meantime, it is still chilly in the Northeast, and along with that, some April showers. So we'll talk about those showers developing and that cool north wind that just won't quit, adding a little extra chill that's already there. We'll time out if there's any sign of a warm up.
Yeah, much more about the forecast for today and this week coming up. But first, international stories, top of headlines here. We now know, well, here's what we know now about the massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake that shook Nepal yesterday. And this morning, another aftershock has rocked the region, measuring 6.7 in magnitude. More than 2,000 people are dead, but officials expect that number to increase.
And walls were crumbled, houses destroyed, large cracks formed in the streets. Thousands of people in Kathmandu spent the night outside, just too afraid to go back in their homes for fear of those aftershocks.
About 100 miles away on Mount Everest, the quake set off massive avalanches. At least 17 people were killed here, dozens more injured. This, according to the president of the Nepal Mountaineering Association, making it the deadliest disaster in the history of mountaineering on Everest.
Meantime, relief agencies all across the globe are scrambling to get food, water, medicine, and tents into Nepal.
NBC's Richard Engel has just arrived in the capital, Kathmandu, and found a desperate situation.
People are now living on the streets. You can see behind me a park. In almost every green space, people have now set up tents. They brought their families, they brought cooking pots, and they are living in these parks, on the sidewalks, in the streets, afraid to go back into their homes because there have been many aftershocks. We experienced one of the aftershocks shortly after our arrival today. It was a 6.7 aftershock. It lasted for about a minute. We were going through immigrations. We had just landed at the airport, and suddenly the building started moving. The airport officials ran away. The police went to find safer cover. We did as well. But then just a few minutes later, it was back to business as usual, although with this fear that you could have more aftershocks or even another major quake. And that's why so many people are living here. The same is also true for foreigners. There are not that many major hotels in the city, but the ones that are here that cater to foreign tourists are running in a state of semi-evacuation. They aren't allowing people to go up to their rooms, but they can stay in the lobby spaces. They could use the bathrooms. The hotels are bringing people water. But at night, just like the people here in the park, the foreign tourists who are here are sleeping, most of them, out in front of their hotels, in the lawns, in the gardens. It is very difficult now to get in and out of Kathmandu, get in and out of Nepal. When we arrived at the airport, we saw a line perhaps a kilometer long of locals who wanted to leave, and they were patiently waiting. This has been a very calm situation here. That I would say has been one of the most overwhelming things we've noticed. People are nervous, but they are staying very calm.
That's NBC's Richard Engel reporting on the earthquake disaster in Nepal and the humanitarian crisis that is generating.
Again, we're still getting word, but right now more than 2,000 people have been killed. Many more victims expect to be found in the crumbled buildings as the week goes on. And we know that our viewers are some of the most generous, and we know that you want to help. And there are several charities that you can donate to.
Yeah, including Red Cross, who also mobilized a massive effort to head towards Nepal. Also Save the Children, CARE, World Vision. Again, you can find this entire list at weather.com.
And just to recap details about this quake, it was a 7.8 centered about 50 miles northwest of Kathmandu, Nepal. But we know that there have been more aftershocks too. The worst earthquake, they're saying, in now more than 80 years.
Yeah, again, a very strong aftershock this morning. Nearly 24 aftershocks since the initial quake hit yesterday morning. And again, you can see they're circled all across the area. Mount Everest not too far away. And when you have all those ice fields, all that shaking definitely did cause a lot of damage, a lot of avalanches, and opening up new crevasses. And because of the elevation of Kathmandu here in Nepal, being at the foothills of the Andes there, temperatures slowly warming to the 70s, but scattered showers not out of the question as we head through today and tomorrow.
All right, bringing it back closer to home, it's another round of severe weather that'll be firing up today. We're going to get you ahead of all those threats ahead.
Well, sir, after some serious consideration, I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
Well, I'm going to finish packing my things. 15 years will really sneak up on you.
Jennifer will do your exit interview, and Adam made you a cake.
Red velvet.
Oh, thank you.
I made this.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
True Green presents The Yardleys.
Sorry.
This is more than a lawn. This is a True Green lawn. Live life outside with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green, live life outside.
I got bit by a snake.
C'est pas poison.
Poison? Okay, oh wow. Okay, yeah, I feel that.
C'est pas poison.
That's definitely poison.
Apparently, I'm immune to venom.
Immune to venom?
Steve.
We make meeting times, lunch times, and conference times. But what we'd rather be making are tea times. Tea times are the official start of what we love to do. The time for shots we'd rather forget, and the ones we'll talk about forever. In Michigan, long days, relaxing weather, and more than 800 pristine courses make for the perfect tea time. Because being able to play all day is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
To you, they're more than just a pet. So protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 96. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hey, check this out. The Calbuco volcano in central Chile is keeping more than 6,000 people out of their homes this morning. The mountain blew up at least 3 times in recent days. It had sat quietly for 4 decades.
That video is mesmerizing, right? Dr. Michael Ventris is an operational scientist for WSI Weather Service International. He joins us on Skype from Somerville, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so fascinating, the pictures. But Calbuco has been spewing tons of ash, dust, other material, some 11 miles high. What does this mean for the atmosphere?
Good morning. So typically following large volcanic eruptions, there are times when the surface of the Earth can cool for a 2 to 3 year time frame. This phenomenon is known as volcanic winter, and it's initiated when volcanic ash and sulfate aerosols are injected into the upper troposphere and lower stratosphere. Now, it takes some time for these sulfate aerosols to actually get washed out of the atmosphere because there's very little precipitation that can occur at these heights. But what they can do is they actually reduce global surface temperatures by reflecting incoming solar radiation back into space instead of warming the surface of the Earth. Now, the most recent volcanic winter on record was back in 1991 during the Mount Pinatubo volcano eruption. We actually saw temperatures drop for a 2 to 3 year duration following this event. But initial readings for the sulfate aerosol deposition in the current eruption from Calbuco was about 100 times less than what we saw from Mount Pinatubo. So it's a bit less than what you'd expect to see a big cooling period.
Now, Michael, you said, Pinatubo dropped the temperature a couple of degrees. Now, with Calbuco, could this happen just locally, or is this a worldwide phenomenon, this kind of cooling?
Right. So you typically see the big volcanoes, the super volcanoes near the equator, have the most significant impacts on global cooling. So for a southern hemisphere volcano, this was actually quite large, but it's nowhere near the order of magnitude you need to see to actually initiate a volcanic winter.
All right, I'm fascinated with the lightning that is associated with eruptions and the pictures. What we're seeing when we see those flashes in some of that video right there.
Yeah, it's remarkable. So when dust and ash particles get thrown up into the atmosphere, they can separate into positive and negatively charged groups. When this charge separation becomes too great for the air to resist the flow of electricity, that's where you see your lightning. It's still kind of we're still not sure what causes the particles to first become electrically charged. It might be the volcano itself that's charging the particles. It could be happening afterwards when these particles make it into the atmosphere. But since 2007, there's been a number of studies that show there's actually 2 types of volcanic lightning. The first being lightning that occurs near the mouth of the volcano during the eruption. And the second is the more visually stimulating, where you see the lightning dance around the height of a towering ash plume.
And that's what we're seeing there on that video there. Thank you very much. That's Dr. Michael Ventris from WSI this morning. Thanks for your input on Calbuco. And this is just incredible video there.
Right, and if you haven't checked out some of the still shots, again, some with the lightning is some of the most vivid, most awe-inspiring. You don't even believe that it's real, but yeah, it's amazing.
And this stuff being shot 50,000+ feet in the air, not to mention it has a huge impact on air traffic in that area of the world, because you do not want to fly anything through that, because again, ash is not something fluffy and light. It's actually little shards of glass.
Right, because from far away it looks like it's just smoke, but yeah, it's solid. But as you mentioned, the process that lightning happens is you do have the pieces of the ash coming out of the volcano kind of hitting each other, almost, you know, when you think about lightning being formed in a thunderstorm, you have the raindrops brushing up and ice crystals brushing up against them. So that's what we think is happening with the volcano.
Yeah. And this video is actually sped up, so that's why, you know, it looks like it's really going fast. It's actually sped up as it's ejecting 30, 40, 50,000 feet, almost leaving the troposphere into the stratosphere there. And I guess the only good thing is it, you know, is happening in their winter, the cooler months. So perhaps it's a little easier to deal with the fallout of the ash.
And then this is what it looks like on the ground as the ash comes falling down and piling up. Look at that.
Oof. Yeah, and again, because it's the cooler months, hopefully they don't have as many crops being impacted by that as well, because once you have that layer of soot and ash, you can't really have things grow underneath.
Right. All right, well, coming up on a Weekend Recharge, we continue to track the threat for severe weather, and it does include the tornado threat for a few major cities. We'll time it out for you.
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful day.
You're only young once, unless you have a Subaru.
The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
I don't know what I should do next.
Do what everybody else does. Start a business. Build yourself a website.
Welcome to T.O.'s Humble Pie.
With Wix.com.
Let's party!
We make it easy to create your own all-pro website. All by yourself.
Farve and carve.
You did that yourself?
Don't look so surprised.
Go to Wix.com. Create your website today.
Still paying too much for home phone service? Do the